Hello everyone and welcome to a versatile full-size pickup truck that is spacious, and it is one of the crowd favorites in the full-size pickup truck segment, which is this 2024 Ford F-150. So this 2024 F-150 is offered in 8 different trims: XL, STX, XLT, King Ranch, Lariat, Platinum, Tremor and the Raptor. And the particular variant that I'm reviewing is the F-150 Lariat with a lot of optional extras. The first one is the blacked out bits on this, and the Lariat variant also has, in general, for the 2024 variant, a lot of body styling differences compared to the previous generation. But let me begin with the front grille. As I said, this one is a blacked out one, which is an optional black pack that is given, so a lot of bits are blacked out on this Lariat variant of the F50. Then this big Ford badging in here, which is in black. At the bottom, again, glossy plastic. Even the grille is glossy. The bottom here, lower side of the bumper, is also in glossy black. Then there are these normal plastics surrounding that, and the bumper is also much more off-road version. And this Lariat version also comes with the FX4 package, which is for the off-roading. So there is a skid plate on the bottom side in the front. There is also the suspensions upgraded, and even the rear suspensions have the monotube shocks. There is also the rear locking differentials provided on this. So that is the, in general, FX4 package on this F-150. There are also towing hooks given in the front on either side, and at the bottom out here there are these fog lights. So these are the LED fog lights, and the main headlights are provided on the top, this huge cluster here. So there are also DRLs on the top side and the side, and it's also like a split one. It goes into the fog lights also. So the DRLs are the LED DRLs, and there are also turning lights in the middle. Again, those are also the LED, and the headlight cluster itself is a completely LED headlight cluster. And not just that, it's also adaptive, so it turns around with the steering input, so it also acts like a cornering light also. And underneath this Lariat variant of the F-150 sits a 3.5 liter V6 EcoBoost engine. So on this Lariat variant, there are a little over $12,000 worth of optional extras provided, and one of them are these wheels. So these are the aluminum 20-inch glossy black wheels along with the all-terrain tires, and those are the optional extras on this thing with the Ford badging in the middle. There's also this blacked out F-150 Lariat badging on the sides with this sort of design around that. And at the bottom there is normal sideboard, but a metal one, which is a blacked out one with the Ford badging on that one too. And in the back, as I said, there are the upgraded suspensions on this one in general, but in the back there are leaf springs along with the monotube shocks. And if you look at the truck from the side, it's actually a little raised up from the back to give it like extra bit of, aggressive angle. And also, if I put my head inside, yeah, it goes completely in there on the inside. And when we come to the side mirrors, so these are the power foldable side mirrors. They are also power adjustable. They are body colored, and they also have the blind spot warning on the inside, one of the cameras from the 360-degree camera system also. And there are also light provided on the side along with the turning lights inside them too. And these lights also can be switched on from inside the cabin next to the driver's side. On the left side, there are buttons provided for individual side mirrors. You can switch those lights on, but there is also another option which is called as zone lighting. So you can switch on pretty much every single light on this car which is provided around, and even in the rear, the reversing lights and the front lights, these side lights, all of them when you press that zone lighting option. And then on screen inside the infotainment, you can switch all the zones on or individually select different lights also. So that's another option provided. And these side mirrors are not the regular rounded side mirrors, but instead they have this sort of angular version on the inside. There is also this pretty popular Ford curved design on the door to increase that extra bit of visibility all around. It really helps while driving to have a good look what's underneath at the bottom, and there is also this keypad provided, which is again a Ford thing. So you can unlock and lock this car by setting a 5-digit pin code that you can set from inside the infotainment screen. When we come to these doors, so these are keyless entry doors, the front ones only, and this is a dual cab variant of this F-150, and the FX4 off-road tech is given in the back, along with a panoramic sunroof provided. Now in the rear there are full set of LED tail lights provided, turn signals, brake lights, reverse lights, everything is completely in LED. This blacked out Ford badging with the F-150 embossed on the tailgate. There are also scuff plates provided on the top side of this rear bumper, along with a step, so that it's just easier to get into the cargo bed. So if you want to load or unload, or if there is ever a party on the inside, then it's just much more easier to access. And on either side there are these white patches on the bumper, which is the colored one, and on either side, if you notice, there are dual exhaust tips, which are the blacked out exhaust tips, and these are the real exhaust tips, and they sound pretty good. There's also a trailering hook provided. So in terms of the towing capacity, this thing can tow up to 13,500 pounds of trailer, so that is a pretty remarkable trailering capacity. Also, there are also these brake lines and power supply lines provided in the back too, and at the bottom of this sits the temporary spare wheel, which is also provided. And another optional extra that is given on this F-150 LARIAT is the Pro Access tailgate. And what does that mean is that you can open this tailgate in dual fashion. You can either drop it down or open it like a door, and the reason being that when the trailer is attached, it's just that the trailering jack, it does not hit the door because it usually sits quite high up, so it's very difficult to fold down the tailgate, and for that reason you open by pressing this button and open this door, so things become much more easier to access in the back. But if you still don't want to use it like this, then there is the traditional option also, and it's electronically openable. And not just that, you can electronically fold it up too. It's a convenience feature. I like it because you don't have to lift this heavy tailgate all the time. So let's open this again. It's really very functional tailgate. I like it. There is also a scale given on the back side of this tailgate so that you can measure something. There are also slots provided to put your drinks and stuff. There is also another slot given here, I'm guessing, to put your phones to entertain. There is ever a party, which is what I said. Now in order to get into the rear, I find it easy when the door is open. So let me close this and open, and the location of this button is closer to the driver, so you can just get down and easily get behind and open the door. And now once I step inside, you see how it becomes easier because it's like a step. And there are also cargo lights given in the back and also given on the top side out here. Those can be switched off from inside next to the driver on the left side, or there is also a button given in the back too, so you can conveniently switch them on from here too. There are also hooks provided, tie down hooks that are provided, so you can tie your stuff in the back too. There is also a power socket, which is a 400 watt maximum power socket, 120 volts, that is given in the back too. And this thing also comes with a 7.2 kilowatt power inverter, which sits in the rear seats, underneath the rear seats. And yeah, that powers pretty much everything, all your electronic devices, if you ever have any need. And there's also a compartment here to store something, which is a lockable one too. And in terms of the visibility, it's actually decent. It's not too bad because yeah, it's much more vertical in that sense. And there's also a window that opens electronically from inside. The button is mounted on the roof in the middle, so that's also electronically operated. And another optional extra is this bed lining. So this bed is lined with this special black color material, and that is much more grippy, and yeah, people don't slip or fall when you load anything on the inside. There's also Ford badging given in the back too. And then once you're done, you can easily get down from here and then close the door. Well, if you are a storage hungry person, then there is some more storage on the rear also, and that is right out here. So the rear seats are foldable upside very conveniently and very easy. The strap, pull it and fold up the seat, and then you will see this partitioned storage which sits underneath the seats, and also it can be partitioned also, so you can make slots in here, or you can completely fold them down too, which is an optional extra, this entire storage at the bottom. So yeah, then you have a flat floor here, so if you want to put like a larger object in the back, that's also possible. But this is also a lockable storage, so you can fold down these seats, and the locks are provided on either side, so using your key you can lock this space. And also the right side seat, the backrest, is also foldable on the top. So let me again show you that. So you fold them down and you can access the jack and also the tool kits provided on this F-150. So there are a few more convenience features that make life easy on the inside of this F-150. The first one is the pedal set, so that moves because it's electronically adjustable. So along with the steering and the seats, even the pedals are adjustable, and that gives you a lot of variety of combinations to adjust your driving position. And then is this, let me put this phone away, you can fold down this gear shifter and take out this table, because this thing comes with the mobile office setup. So you can put your laptops here and then probably send your emails, have a video call, or you can even have a nice dinner with your partner, and then fold it away, lift this gear shifter, and then continue driving. So that's another very handy feature. I like how it opens up the space here. And then is the heads up display. So the heads up display has this pretty cool animation when it just opens up for the first time. It's got this Ford logo, and then the lights merge together to make a zero. It's really amazing, and it shows you a wide variety of information. I'm going to come to that too, but then yes, that's also there. And then there is so much of storage, which is a very sensible storage options provided on the inside, and it's ergonomically easier to live with. I know initially it might feel that there are lots of buttons and everything, but it's still fairly easy to operate in day-to-day living. So let me begin with the material quality. On the top face, there is soft touch materials. Even here on the driver's display above that, there is soft touch material. On the back side, it's just normal plastic, but decent plastic. On the door cards, there is soft touch material on the top face. Where I'm going to be resting has, that's black color leather. At the bottom, there's just normal plastic. After that, there are also panels, plastic panels that look like brushed aluminium on the driver's side, and even on the side face of this dashboard. This here also is like the dark gray color plastic. This handrest, massive one, is also the leather covered steering wheel. It's pretty soft that way, and even these seats with the support in the back, look at that, and they offer plenty of comfortable driving options. So so overall the material quality is all right. It's more rugged because it's meant to last longer when you go off-roading, and the wear and tear and abuse and all of that is taken care of. When we come to the driver's display, there is a 12-inch digital driver's display provided on this F-150 LARIAT, and the dials that ways are pretty fixed on either side. Only the top dials, there are like various temperatures and gauges that you can change the information that you see, and the dials themselves have this design of the gears. So they've added a bit of different design to that also, but it's slightly on the slower side because it's loaded with a lot of graphics. But in terms of the clarity, yes, it's very good, and it's very easier to see even during the bright daylight when the sun is falling directly on it. And there are certain menus that you can scroll through. So the buttons are given on the right side on the steering wheel, and also the up down button. So you press the menu option. The first one is my view, which shows you driver assistance, then the calm view if you don't want to see anything, trip 1, then the fuel economy, tire pressure measurements, then the off-road status, which is all your roll angles, pitch and everything, then configure my view. So if you want to see certain options, add, remove them from the main screen, you can do that too. Then we go back into the trip and fuel option, trip 1, trip 2, then the fuel economy, then the heads up display, you can adjust that. I'm going to come to that. Then the gauges, so the measurements, the screen that had appeared before, you can go from here too. Then the off-road, again it had appeared before also, so compass, off-road status, pitch and roll. Then the towing option, status information, navigation, phone, audio, vehicle maintenance, inside which there's tire pressure, oil life. Then the detailed settings like configure gauges is where you can show the selectable gauges, so you can reduce that or swap the gauge positions, the middle one, and then select the first selectable gauge, second selectable gauge, information on that. Then the neutral tow, we come back and into the main screen. So that's about it. That's how you adjust the driver's display on this F-150, and it's fairly straightforward, not much things to fiddle around, so it's just easier to just get going and just set your designated options. Now when you come to the heads up display, as I said, it's a pretty big broad heads up display. It's quite bright and you can see the information, and it also shows you like the turn signals also on either side, plus it also shows you navigation, speed limit, cruise control, digital speed, temperature, time, all of it. And at the same time it does not feel very cluttered, like with a lot of options. So to change that, again you go into the main menu, into the heads up display, then heads up display on and off, adjustment. So if you want to adjust the brightness, vertical positions, image rotation, content, driver assistance, pitch and roll. So when you go into the off-road mode, then it will show you the off-road gauges also, and the drive mode layout, so whichever layout you want to see on that, so which is why you can select the off-road layout also, and it shows you again a lot of information there too, or the tow and haul. So even that is also possible, which shows RPM counter. And yes, that's just about it when you have to adjust the driver's display. When you come to this steering wheel, this is a leather covered steering wheel, round one, pretty big, but it's very soft to touch, and there are buttons given on either side. There are no paddle shifters or anything given in the back. This steering wheel is also electronically adjustable. Yes, so another convenience feature. So and it's decently quick too. So there are buttons given on the right side to adjust all the information on the driver's display, along with the media controls, track changer and everything at the bottom. And on the left side there are buttons given for the adaptive cruise control, and it also comes with the complimentary Ford's Blue Cruise, which is the hands-free driving. Like majority of the highways you can just put it on, and then the car will automatically just figure out everything. You just have to keep your hands on the steering wheel. That's the only thing, because there are sensors given on the pillars and even above the infotainment screen, so they make sure that you're looking in the front. And then yes, if you signal the car, it can change lanes and all of that. Semi-autonomous kind of driving provided. And there are also more buttons given at the bottom for the volume. That's the only thing, that the media controls are split on either side, but I get it, it's like a busy space because there are lots of buttons also provided, which is why it makes, yeah, they have to adjust, but nonetheless you can figure it out eventually, and then it becomes like your muscle memory. Now when we come to the air conditioning control, you get dual zone air conditioning system on this F-150 LARIAT, and straightforward button operated everything, but the information also is visible on the infotainment screen also. So switch it on and off, and then you can adjust the temperature, and as you can see on the screen, main infotainment screen, it shows you the temperature on either side, then dual, then the fan speed in the middle. You can lower the fan speed, increase the fan speed, and then the fresh air AC, and then the flow of air in different directions. You can select that too. And there is also the heated steering wheel button, which is for the steering wheel, and there are also buttons given on either side of the fan control for the heated and the cooled seats. So the driver and the passenger side seats are the heated and the cooled seats, and the buttons are given for that. But again, straightforward operations, dials and everything, they feel quite solid to operate too. Now when we come to the infotainment screen, this is a 12-inch infotainment system that comes with Ford's Sync 4 operating system, and it's decently quick, although yeah, it could be slightly faster, but nonetheless, again, here also the screen is quite simplified in terms of the user experience. So the first option is the audio option, in which you will find the sources, and in terms of the connectivity, you can connect to this infotainment screen using the Bluetooth, USB, and there is wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Then the sound, you can adjust the sound also from here. There are also buttons given at the bottom of this infotainment screen, so you can adjust the sound settings and everything while on the move. There's volume dial and also the tuner dial and track changer and everything, and the display on off button, but inside also there are options. Then the next option is the phone options, favorite, recent calls, contacts, keypad, all of that. Navigation, inbuilt navigation system also provided, but yeah, you have to log into the Ford account. Then there is also the favorite, so whatever options that you have selected as your favorite options, it will show you that on the screen. Then the apps option, so find mobile apps, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, mobile access. Then the detailed settings for radio, phone list, sync navigation, sound system. So there are 14 speaker Bang & Olufsen surround sound system given on this F-150 LARIAT variant, which is an optional extra. Then there is the detailed vehicle settings. All the different options are also given here, and I'm going to be making a detailed video on how to use this infotainment screen. So in case you just want to be very specific about how to use this, or if you bought one F-150 recently, then you can check that video out. So make sure you subscribe and press that bell icon so that you're notified when that video comes out. Then the next option is the clock, personal profiles, general settings. Again, there also language, temperature and all of that. Then the display options, in which you can have the calm screen, which shows you very minimum just time on the screen itself, or you can switch off the display, brightness, night mode. So right now the screen is in night mode, which is why it's a black color theme. I prefer that instead of the white, because white is in your face, but you can leave it in auto, so in the daytime it's white and at night it switches back to the black color. Then the vehicle hotspots and the mobile app software updates, over the air updates, Ford Assistance, it comes with its own Ford Assistant system, 911 Assist, valet mode, which is what I said, so you can lock this car also if you give this car for valet. So all the features nearly are locked, so that no one touches your favorite features and as you synced on the screen. Then there are the dedicated features options, in which there is driver assistance, all the safety systems, and the zone lighting, which is what I explained, like you can switch on all the exterior lights. Then the towing options, where you can add trailer and then have the connection checklist and everything. You can even manage trailer light check, everything, all the options, and the digital owner's manual. And on the right side there is a split screen option, which shows you the FM media options basically. Then the navigation, phone and trip, fuel economy, eco behavior, and the off-road. That takes a little while to load. And then comes the zone lighting, but you can drop down these options on the screen from here. So if you want maybe an FM option, you can drop down that too. Then even you can adjust which option you want to go straight into, which is the trip option, so you can do that too. But yes, that's essentially how you use the infotainment screen. Now when you come to the charging, so there are two USB ports, one type C and one normal, underneath the air conditioning controls, along with a wireless charger. There is also a 12-volt power socket and also a plug point, which is a 400 watt maximum and 120 volt, and it's all powered by the power inverter which I had mentioned, which is located on the right side in the rear. And for the rear passengers, there are two more type C USB ports along with a plug point. Now on this F-150 LARIAT, there are these extendable sun visors, and also it comes with the panoramic sunroof. When this thing opens up, yeah, it makes the cabin quite airy on the inside, and it's a two-step thing, so you have to keep pressing it all the time. Now this thing comes with the 4x4 systems, and it's also the selectable 4x4. As standard, it's the two-wheel drive. There are buttons and dials given here next to the air conditioning controls, which is a pretty good location to access it. So 2 high, 4 high, 4 automatic, 4 low, and then you can press this dial in the middle to lock the rear differential, and then there are also different driving modes. So you can use this dial in the center to shift to different driving modes. So there are 6 different driving modes. The first one is the sport, then the eco, tow and haul, then normal, slippery, then the off-road, and also the rock crawl mode, which is for this Lariat variant, and upwards, which is like low speed rocks and boulders. So if you want to crawl to that, then it automatically also shifts to 4 low. So yeah, these are the different driving modes, and there is also another dial on top of that for the pro trailer, so you can adjust the brake lines and pressures and everything, and also switch it on so the car knows that you are hauling a trailer. So it also shows you on the screen and confirms that. So if there is a camera attached, it would show you the feed on that too, because including the 360-degree camera, there is an additional slot, so you can put the trailer also, the camera for that, the feed into this infotainment screen, or also the 360-degree cameras including into that. Now when we come to the storage, there is plenty of storage on the inside of this F-150. In the door cast, there is this double storage in which you can put on the top side your phones, and at the bottom you can put like 1.5 liter water bottle and some more storage on the sides. There are like lots of storage around. There are like couple of cup holders there too. Then there are 2 flexible cup holders here in the center tunnel. Then there is this wireless charger. There also there's plenty of storage on the side too, and it's a covered storage also, so you can like close it off. Even that has the brushed aluminum design. Then there is this slot to put your phones. There is also the sunglass holder. There is this glove box which is slim, but there is another storage on the top of the glove box also on the side face of this dashboard. You press this button and open that. You can put your phones and wallets in there. Then there is this huge center storage which has this tray to organize stuff, and you can even put on the inside about like 8 or 10 half a liter worth of bottles. And even here there are 2 more type C USB ports that I had forgotten to mention about. There is another slot on the top of the dashboard above the infotainment screen to put maybe again phones and wallets. There are also slots provided on either side of this center tunnel to put your phones and wallets. Even in the rear there is like double layered storage on the door cards on both the sides, and cup holders where you can put like 1.5 liter worth of bottle. And even in the back side of this center armrest there are 2 more cup holders, standard ones, and another slot to put the phones, and there is also a center armrest in which there are 2 more cup holders. Now there are some more buttons provided on the top side of this infotainment screen for the engine start stop, then the 360-degree camera, so if you want to call at any point of time, and can select different views also at any point. So if you are in a parking or something, you can easily select the different views, and as I said, you can see a lot more variety of views: rear view, front view, more 360 view, or the side views, and you can add your views also. When the trailer is connected, that view is shown on this. Then the parking sensors button, then the parking lights, then the traction control on and off, and the hill descent control button. So you press that and then it switches on the hill descent controls. It confirms on the driver's display. Now when we come to these seats, so these are the black colored leather seats which are perforated seats because they are the heated and the cooled seats, and they are very broad seats and they are very comfortable too. So for daily usage, these seats offer ample of comfort, and because they are broad, and plus there is this extension on the sides, this actually is super helpful because it supports the backside so much, and also the headrest, they are decently soft too, and there is like so much of support underneath my thigh, and they don't have too much of the sort of side support, but I don't mind because it's got plenty of comfort overall when you sit on them. And in terms of the adjustability, so the driver and the passenger side seats are both 8-way electronically adjustable and 2-way lumbar adjustment. Now in the rear there is plenty of space for the rear passengers. So in terms of the knee room, there is more than like a palm worth of knee room, and the headroom is decent, and there is a bit of a curve on the roof also, so that increases a little bit of extra head space. But you cannot slide your legs under the seat, but it doesn't matter because there is a lot of space here. And the seats are again the black color leather seats, perforated ones, and they are so comfortable seats. I actually like the rear seats more than the front seats because this backrest is so squeegee and soft. It's like sitting on a sofa. And even the bottom bit, although yes, the seats are slightly on the lower side, but the angle is bang on. I really like how I'm sitting here. But yeah, little bit of under thigh support is missing, but I still don't mind because the seat offers good amount of overall comfort when I sit on them. There's also a middle seat too, but 3 adults can easily fit into the rear. There are 3 headrests also, and there is no tunnel or anything in the back. It's just a flat floor, so it makes things easier for the middle passenger also. Just that the backrest is slightly on the harder side, but you really have to sit in the rear seats on either side to understand how comfortable this is. Oh, I'm really loving the the rear. Yeah, it's just offering so much of support in the back. And yeah, and then there is also the hand rest, which is a bit on the tiny side, and it's got like 2 normal cup holders. But yeah, I wish that was slightly on the longer side. And in terms of the door card quality, again, soft touch material given in the back too, with double layered storage, and also cup holders given on the front side on either side. And there are also grab handles provided on either side too, and also in the front side. Also, there are pocket storages provided in the driver and the passenger side seat, and there are also rubber mats provided so that it's just much more easier to clean it for everyday uses. There are 2 air conditioning vents provided, and also a 12-volt power socket in the center, and heated seat buttons on either side. So the either side seats are the heated seats, so it's going to be much more comfortable during the winters, along with this air conditioning vent, so you can have like hot blast of air, and your bottoms also staying warm during the winters. But overall, I really like the space arrangement, and also how comfortable it is, and truly comfortable it is in the rear of this F-150. So this 2024 F-150 LARIAT is powered by a 3.5 liter V6 EcoBoost engine that produces 400 horsepower and 500 pound-feet of torque, and this engine is mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. There is also an optional 3.5 liter V6 Power Boost, which is a hybrid engine. Options also available on this, and on the higher variants there is a 5 liter V8 engine also available. But this engine and the gearbox combination is just superb. Like, the power delivery is just very good. Like, it takes a little while initially because this is a twin turbocharged engine, so you press the throttle, it takes a little while, but gradually feed it, and then this thing can go like wild. It's very powerful. In fact, if you just suddenly accelerate, it sometimes just spins the rear wheels. That's quite possible when you suddenly power this thing. So yeah, I've had instances when the rear wheels start spinning slightly. But yes, this engine and the gearbox combination is just very good. The gear shifts are crisp, and yeah, you don't really feel that you're cycling through 10 different gears. So yeah, the engine and the gearbox front is just lovely. Now even the exhaust note, sometimes you can hear that properly, like yeah, it really pushes you back into the chair, and you can feel that thrust coming off too. Now this thing comes with a 4x4 system, and I'm pretty sure like this thing is mighty capable in terms of tackling any sort of off-road situations. But if you want even more hardcore variants, then there is the Raptor and the higher, like the King Ranch and the Tremor and all of those are much more hardcore off-road variant. But this is more everyday balanced approach to off-roading if you ever want to. And even when it's going to be slippery, it's going to return you a lot of tractions on all the 4 wheels. Now when you come to the economy from this engine, so on longer journeys I've managed to get around 10.5 to 11 kilometers per liter, whereas within the city I've managed to get a little lesser, which is about 8 to 7.5 to 8.5 kilometers per liter. But if you average, it comes to around 10 to 10.5 kilometers per liter, which is pretty good for a truck this big. It's still very everyday usable truck, which is what you want from that if you're frequently commuting in this thing. So yeah, and even if you go off-roading, then yes, even it's still gonna be fairly easier to run this, and it comes with 136 liters of fuel tank, so combined can give you a total of 900 plus kilometers. It showed me when I picked this car up, 900 kilometers of range. Now when we come to the suspension, so they are off-road calibrated and they are slightly on the softer side, but it's not that soft, but because the ride quality is not affected, it's very good. And especially the rear, because there's a bed, the sturdiness is quite good. It's not flopping around at all. In fact, yeah, it's quite tough that ways in terms of how the bed holds up. Maybe when you put like a load on that, which is about 2445 pounds of load maximum capacity in the bed, then maybe it would just ease down a little bit, and also the jumping might reduce, but still it's not bad. It's still a very comfortable suspension setup on this. When it comes to the steering, again, pretty good responsive steering, good amount of feedback, and it's got good amount of turning radius also. It's not fairly big for a truck this size because it's a full size pickup truck. And when you come to the brakes, again, they are also the 4 disc brakes provided on this Lariat variant of the F-150, and they work very well. The brake pedal is progressive and the brakes are also very sticky, and especially the suspensions and the steering would come alive during the off-roading because it's all calibrated towards that. And once, obviously, when you go like when the roads disappear and you go off-roading, then it's when you will be able to appreciate truly like how good a setup this thing has. But even on the road, it's pretty good. Then when we come to the noise and the vibrations, I've found a little bit of wind whooshing from around these windows and also from the rear window slightly, maybe because of that sliding window, but the tire noise or anything, it's not there. And the engine noise is not that much at all, because when it's just cruising along, it's quiet. It's only when you want some entertainment and sound, then but it's still a good engine sound from this. And the turbos take slight amount of time to develop that boost and then throw it along. It's usually around 2.5 to 3,000 RPM. Now when we come to the safety systems, so there are 8 airbags, 2 for the front driver and the passenger, 2 side airbags again for the driver and the passenger, 2 curtain airbags given on the frames. Then there are also 2 knee airbags for the driver and the passengers. Then there is a brilliant 360-degree camera system. The output from that is just very crisp and clear, and as I said, you can add more camera feed to that too if you have a trailer. So in the end, you can get that feed on the camera itself. And there is also child ISOFIX points in both the rear seats. Then there is the blind spot warning, then the Ford's Blue Cruise system, then the adaptive cruise control, that's also provided. There's a camera for that, and that camera is also used for the front collision warnings and the pedestrian warnings, the vehicle warning, and even there's a rear collision warnings. Then there are motion sensors also. So when you park this car, it would ask you if you want to switch on those motion sensors. So that's for the, if there are burglaries and thefts happening a lot in your area, then that's quite useful. And also there is the anti-theft system provided on this too, which is again the part of all these motion sensors and all, which is for the first time provided on this F-150. When we come to the pricing, this Lariat variant comes at $80,000 along with optional extras, which are about $12,000. It comes in around $92,000. Now, for me, F-150, especially this trim that I've driven, I feel like this is a very balanced trim in terms of what you get for what you pay, because it's feature loaded, it's got the capabilities, it's got the comfort, it's got the space, and it's got that pro access tailgate. Okay, if you don't want all of that optional extras, then you might as well not take that, but as basic package that is offered, then this is very good. But if you're still going to be using for maybe more rugged purposes like farming and stuff, then there is the XL, XLT and those variants lower end. But if you want a properly balanced approach, then this is the one. And if you want a hardcore off-roader, there is the Raptor variant available on this one too. But for me, for everyday use, this is just a complete package because it's got this very powerful engine also. It just does not make you feel like you're cutting back on anything, and for the price point, this is a very good option. Anyways, that's pretty much it for this video, and if you like this video, make sure to press the thumbs up button and share this video too. And if you want to subscribe to my channel, then you can click here, and if you want to watch more videos, click here. I shall see you in the next video. Bye bye, take care and drive safe.